Hello all, I'm Sai and in today's video, I'm bringing to you 10 underrated Indian books that you need to read. I know that there are a lot of Indian books that are out there which are being recommended continuously across different Indian booktube channels, and I'm really glad that so many people are recommending such books so that our great Indian books can be read by people all across the world. In that list, I want to include these 10 books which I have read and enjoyed or benefited from a lot in the past few years. Each and every one of these 10 books are really well written, and all of them are books that are not even that huge in their length, so you can sit down and read them quickly also. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the books right away. The first book that I'm recommending in this video is a self-help book, and it is 13 Steps to Bloody Good Wealth by Ashwin Sanghi and Sunil Dalal, which is the first book inside this 13 Steps self-help series. I've read only this one personally, and I think it is one of the best personal finance books that I've read so far. Especially if you're Indian, I'd say just go forward and read this as your first personal finance book if you've not read any of the other personal finance books that are very popular out there already, because this will just make you understand the basics of finance and what all you need to know in order to start making more money out of the money that you already have, even from a very young age. I'd say if you're like 14 or 15, you can straight away go forward and read this book, because after reading this book, the first thing that I felt is if I had read this back in high school, I would have made a lot more money by the time I was reading this back then. It is such an easy and useful book, and it explains all the jargon that are related with personal finance in a very lucid way. It is not even a big book, it is just around 200 pages long, and it has a lot of pictorial representations of understanding certain concepts too. As I said before, even if you're just 14 or 15, you can go forward and try this book, and even if you're older like me, I'd say just go forward and try it. I'm sure you'll be benefited to such a great extent. Next, we have a contemporary book which will make you laugh out loud. Okay, the most popular book by this author that has been published so far is his first book, and it is also a sad romance book. But this one is totally in contrast to that one, because this is a book that is filled with friendship and will make you laugh out loud at each and every page. And it is Belated Bachelor Party by Ravinder Singh, in which the author talks about this belated bachelor party or trip that is taken by this 4 friend group 10 years after their graduation from college. Now, these 4 people were together in college as roommates, and 10 years after the end of their college life, they meet again, and since none of them had a bachelor party before they got married, they are going on this trip to Europe, and there are so many shenanigans that take place there. Starting from giving ridiculous reasons to get a visa to go to Europe, to being strip searched there for the possession of drugs and illicit weapons. Multiple instances inside this book will just make you laugh so much, and you'll also find very relatable instances throughout this book that could have happened easily to yourself in your own life with your friends. It is such a short book, and you can easily finish this in just like 1 or 2 sittings. And the best part is that you'll not be able to put it down, because each and every time you turn a page, you'll just laugh and want to know what is going to happen next. So read it during the summer. I'm sure it'll be a great fun time. Next, we have another self-help book, and this is one book which I have benefited from so much. Okay, I've followed a lot of things, especially from this book, in the past 2.5 years, and I have benefited extremely from it. And the book is Skin Rules by Dr. Jayashree Sharad, in which the author talks about how you can develop a skincare routine for yourself and why it need not cost that much. Basically, the thing that I understood after reading this book is how much I have not at all cared about my skin, but always worried about how it does not look good. And the basic thing that the author keeps on stressing on in this book is the fact that it is not at all about beauty. Okay, it's just about the health of your skin, because it's basically the biggest organ that you have. It covers each and every part of your body. It need not be a certain color. It need not have a certain texture. It need not look a certain way in order for it to be beautiful. It just needs to be healthy, and its unique beauty will show itself once you start taking care of it. After reading this book, I slowly developed a skincare routine for myself, and trust me, my skin has become healthier and healthier ever since I finished reading this book and started practicing all the things that the author has said here. It's not like a very tedious book that you need to read cover to cover to benefit from it also. You can just read parts of the book depending upon the kind of issues that you're facing, and I'm super grateful that I read this, and I also will keep on recommending it for years and years in the future. Next, we have a mythological retelling of short stories, and it is Valmiki's Women by Anand Neelakantan, which is a retelling of the Ramayana, but not the entire story as such. It talks about 4 of the women from Ramayana who are either not at all talked about much or shown in a very negative shade for us. The 4 characters whom we see here are Shanta, who is Rama's elder sister that was not even spoken that much of inside the Ramayana and modern versions that we are seeing nowadays. The next one is Kaikeyi, who is the queen that has been misunderstood in a very bad level. Next we have Surpanaka, who has done her own share of bad, but it's not like everything that she did is bad also. And at last we have Manthara, who has been wronged in so many different ways and just kept on doing what she had to do in order to protect herself and the people that she loves. Reading these 4 stories will just make you question whether all the things that we see as retellings of the epic be totally true or not. It has so many grey shades. Not any person that is depicted inside these 4 stories is totally good or totally bad. They are just so human and they are just so morally grey that they will make you think to a very deep level and try to understand the things that are being said in these epic stories to us in our mythology with the most deep understanding. Next we have another self-help book, and I'm recommending a lot of self-help books because I personally think the non-fiction books that are written by Indians are like so much better compared to the fiction books. I'm not saying that the fiction books that are written by us Indians is not good, okay? I'm just saying that from my experience with reading a few of the Indian books that I've read, I've seen that the quality of non-fiction is like much higher than the quality of fiction. And this book in specific is The Power of Posture by Renu Makhtani. If I'm not wrong, this book is available in Prime Reading, so you can just go forward and try it. I remember reading this on my Kindle, and trust me, it was also one of the most enlightening books that I've read so far because it's not like you have to do much in order to correct your posture, okay? It just requires a little bit of alterations here and there, especially if you are having a sedentary lifestyle like me, where you have to sit throughout your job and you're going to sit down and film videos and you're going to sit down and read and do a lot of things throughout the day just by sitting down. It shows you how much you're risking your physical health as a whole if you're not focusing on your posture, and how just focusing on your posture and breathing in certain ways can help you not gain unnecessary weight. It was such an eye-opening book for me, and it is also super practical in its way because each and everything that the author says as postures and exercises inside this book has accompanying illustrations or photographs throughout the book, so that while you read the book you can see the photograph and immediately then and that try doing it and see whether it works out for you or not, or if you're doing anything wrong. It is really helpful. Again, a very tiny book, so if you can just go forward, grab a copy and read it, and I'm sure your body will thank you for it. Next we have a collection of ghost short stories, and it is Ghosts of the Silent Hills by Anita Krishan. Now, this is a collection of 12 ghost short stories that happen in India. Of all the 12 stories, one alone happens in Australia, but I think of all the 12 stories, that is the one which is the most mediocre. But all the 11 others will make you feel scary because it is super well done by the author, okay? I've seen this book on Amazon's best-selling list a lot of times, and just because of that itself, I've thought that it's a book that sells, so it might not be that great. But trust me, I was totally wrong because this was excellent, okay? I was not able to put it down at all. I think I read it within like 24 hours or so because it is that well written. It has that specific kind of Indian English writing which will make you feel the Indianness of the book to your bones because it is totally rooted in our culture. And since most of the ghost stories that happen here are surrounding Indian folklore and Indian stories that are focused on ghosts, I think it is so much more truer to our culture. Try reading it during the winter time, but please don't read it during the night time because it will give you nightmares because it is that scary. I'm not saying that it will be scary to such an extent that you'll not be able to go out in the dark alone, but it will make you feel a little bit uncomfortable and scared because it will get under your skin. Next we have another self-help book, and it is on weight loss and managing your physical health as a whole, okay? And the book is Don't Lose Out, Work Out, okay? And the thing that I said itself is just a hook because this book is not about losing weight, okay? It's about keeping your body healthy. It doesn't matter how heavy you are. It doesn't matter how tall or short you are. It doesn't matter what muscles you have. It just matters that the amount of muscle or amount of body weight that you have gets the amount of work that it needs to get on a daily basis. Now, Rujita Divekar is super popular for the way in which she approaches fitness and health in our country. And trust me, this book was super eye-opening for me, okay? I have also bought another book by this author which I'll show you in one of my book hauls. I know that book is not going to be beneficial for me physically, but I'm sure that the knowledge that Rujita Divekar has and shares in her books will be super useful, at least for someone else if not for me. I have benefited a lot from this book again, and it has just broken all those myths in my mind that I had, like if I eat more I will gain a lot of weight and I have to keep a track of my calories and not consume more without putting out enough work. All of those things are just myths, and the way in which the author breaks them and busts them with the knowledge that she has and with the stats that she shows to us here is just extremely interesting, brilliant and eye-opening. So if you're feeling down because you don't think you are physically fit, just like I did, go forward and try this book. It will open a lot of doors for you and just make you understand how awesome and amazing your body is. Next we have a literary fiction book, and it is also a very short book again, which is One Part Women by Perumal Murugan, translated from the Tamil language by Aniruddhan Vasudevan into English. Now in this book, we follow a couple, Kali and Ponna, inside this very small village in one of the districts of Tamil Nadu. It is not specified to us where this particular place is, but it is very clearly shown to us that this is a Tamil place and the people who are following here are from the Tamil culture. Now the thing about Kali and Ponna is that they have been married for a few years, but because of which the society keeps on taunting them. It is not like not having a child is a huge issue for either of them, but the society makes it very bad for them that they start thinking that it's a very huge problem for them and they don't love each other enough so that they could not give themselves a baby. It's not like only Ponna or only Kali is affected by this issue. Both of them are affected in their own ways societally, and the extreme extents to which it goes in this book is just astounding to read. Another thing which needs to be kept in mind is that this book does not happen in the modern age. It happens at least a few decades back, and while thinking about such things that can happen to people even in the past will make you feel so bad in your heart, and try to do something so that something like this might not happen, at least to the people that you know in your lives. The next one is a spiritual book, and it is Meditation and Its Methods by Swami Vivekananda. Now, I don't suggest this book to everyone because it is very, very difficult in its language, because Vivekananda has written this like way past in time. So the English that he uses here is quite difficult to understand. Okay. So if you're a beginner, please don't try this. Okay. It is very, very short. I think it's under 150 pages, but even that it will be very difficult for most people to read. Okay, there's not a ton of stuff going on in here, but reading this book will make you understand how amazing meditation is and how much necessary for us it is, especially in this current world. For me personally, I started reading this book exactly when I started practicing yoga in the beginning of last year. It was such an experience for me because this book about meditations itself felt like a meditative experience for me. Again, this is one book which needs to be taken time and read slowly, because if you read this fast, you'll not be able to understand and get the proper knowledge that it delivers, because there is so much going on within each and every line that this man has written. It might touch a nerve at times, but trust me, it will evoke something within you that will make you want to meditate. And finally, I want to wrap this up with yet another Indian mythological retelling, and it is Sita's Sister by Kavita Kali, which again shows us the story of the Ramayana, but from the point of view of Urmila, who is not considered to be that huge or important a character inside the Ramayana, despite all the incredible feats that she has done in order to keep her kingdom together and alive, while the actual crown prince, her sister and her husband were out in the forests. Now, Urmila is basically the younger sister of Sita and the husband of Lakshmana, who's the younger brother of Rama, who's the husband of Sita. Now, as per the Ramayana, Rama, Sita and Lakshmana, all three of them go together out of the kingdom and live in the forest. And during that time, Urmila is the one who is keeping the kingdom together while dealing with all the politics, because it's not like everyone else who's there inside the kingdom is capable of handling it well. She also get a lot of gripe from all the members in her family during that time, but the extent to which she is patient and just wants good to happen to the kingdom as a whole is just very, very, very excellent. She is easily one of the most overlooked characters inside the Ramayana, and it clearly shows in this retelling of her story. It is very emotional and will make you think about the story of the Ramayana from an extremely different facet. So if you are interested in something like that, please do give this a try. So yes guys, those are all the 10 underrated Indian books that I wanted to recommend to you today. And if you have any such recommendations for me as well as the others, please do drop them down in the comments, because I'd like to get a lot of recommendations from you guys. And if you did find this video useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. And if you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.